My first overall play is going to be Baker Mayfield over 1 passing touchdown. In this video, you're going to find out exactly why. What's going on, guys? My name is Matt Downs. I am here to teach you plus EV betting. If you guys are brand new to this channel, we teach you exactly how to become a profitable sports bettor through utilizing hidden strategies like correlation and also line comparing. So I'm going to break down exactly how to become a profitable sports bettor for tonight's matchup between the Bucs and the Bills. So again, the correlation strategy is a strategy that goes hand in hand with fixed payout platforms like PrizePicks, Underdog, Jock Market, and really any single fantasy market where the payouts never change, right? So I'm going to break this down a little bit further and go through the math by showing you guys and proving to you guys that if I pick any specific player prop here on the board, it can be literally be any combination under the sun. We'll go ahead and throw in an MLB play here as well. The payouts will never change in the 6 flex slip. And why this is beneficial for you to know is because we're going to be utilizing dynamic single game parlay odds on FanDuel and comparing the best bang for your buck slip here on PrizePicks. So for PrizePicks, 6-man and 5 flex slips are the best payout overall. They utilize the best payouts due to their ROI percentage and their very low break-even percentage per leg, right? So if I put in 5 or 6 legs within a slip, the average break-even percent odds to hit is going to be about 54.2 to 54.26% for each individual leg. That's different from like a 2-man power, because if you guys see here, if you guys look on the screen, a 2-man power always pays out 3x. That equates to the exact same thing as a dynamic sportsbook like a FanDuel or DraftKings, as putting 2 parlays, 2 legs together with implied odds of minus 137 odds. But if I put in 6 legs here, this equates with the insurance of average implied odds of minus 119. It's about minus 118.5 odds. Anyway, that equates to a break-even percentage per leg of 54.26%. So why would I ever favor a 2-man power over a 6-man flex when those break-even percentages are just a little bit lower? It allows a little bit room for error, right? Like I'm going to be selecting the best overall bang for my buck legs, and it's going to keep me profitable in the long run by an extra like 3.5%. Because for a 2-man power, I'm looking for a break-even percentage of about 57.75% per leg. And the best way to prove this to you is to show you the EV per leg if I were to have a 54.2% hit rate on each individual leg. Again, average hit rate. So let's say I'm an average sports bettor. The average sports bettor, whenever they head to any sports book, they're hitting at near a 50% rate. Let's just hypothetically say I'm an average sports bettor, somebody who doesn't have much sportsbook knowledge, just runs to the sports book and bets their favorite overall plays. Like we were all guilty of this at one point in time. And if you're a newer sports bettor, then you're probably an average sports bettor. You're going to be hitting at a 50% hit rate if you are. And if you're hitting at a 50% hit rate on PrizePicks per leg, you're not going to make money in the long term. You're going to have a negative ROI, right? Like that's pretty common knowledge, because the way that these sports books and these DFS apps actually make money is they tax on some hidden juice. Basically, think of it like a tip per sports bet that you make, right? So it's about 5 to 8%, depending on any DFS app, but upwards of like 9% hold on each individual player prop. So for that reason, they're going to hold you accountable and they're going to make you hit at a higher hit rate just because of that hidden vig or that hidden juice, right? That's how this whole thing works. That's how the sports books make their money long term. But let's hypothetically say maybe I hit at a 51% hit rate. No, obviously you can see here, based on the 51% hit rate per leg, I'm still not breaking even because I'm only getting 6 to 6 about 1.76% of the time. Right? Well, let's go ahead and increase this thing up to 54%. As you can see, I'm getting closer. My ROI is still not positive, but I'm almost breaking even, right? I'm only hitting 6 to 6 about 2.48% in the long term on average, if I'm only hitting at a 54% hit rate per leg. But what if I increase this to like 54.22? I only know this because I've done this a million times. I'm going to be breaking even. I need to hit my 6 of 6 over 2.54%. for myself to break even in the long term. And if I'm hitting an individual leg hit rate of 54.22% or higher, then I'm breaking even. And this truly shows you that playing the long term and actually targeting the market and targeting these average percent leg hit rates is going to keep you profitable in the long run. But if I compare this to a 2-man power, like I said earlier, I'm putting in a 54.22% hit rate. I'm still not breaking even. And actually, this is wrong. This is based on a recent promo. So even with that promo, I wasn't breaking even. But if I increase this, so let's say 57.75%, as you can see, that's the break-even percentage per leg. If I, again, take this down to like 55%, I'm still not breaking even. So it just goes to show you how much better bang for your buck you get if you play a 6 flex or a 5 flex over a 2-man power. Now, how does this relate back to correlation? Knowing that the 6 flex provides the best bang for your buck, I'm going to try to correlate 6 legs together, knowing that the payout will never change while increasing my percent odds to hit per leg by using correlation. This is exactly how it's done. All right, so again, I showed you guys the 6 legs can be any combination. Let's take it one step further. What if I told you if I can combine 2 legs together that are positively correlated, that can organically increase my percent odds to hit? Let's talk through this real quick. What I'm going to be using today is going to be called the DGFantasy correlation tool here. And what this shows you is it shows you the best bang for your buck slips when you correlate plays together. And again, this is because the payouts never change on fixed payout platforms like PrizePicks, like Boom Fantasy, like Underdog, and you can make money through this strategy. If you guys were to place every single bet recommended slip here on this tool from August 18th all the way to today, so a little bit over 2 months. So a little bit over 2 months here, you would be up over 600 units. For a $1,000 bettor, that would be up $60,000. I know that we're all not $100 bettors here, but for a $5 bettor, just pulling out my calculator real quick, 5 times 600, you would be up exactly $3,000 just after 2 months. And what this correlation tool shows you is every profitable correlated slip, and we show you the best correlated combos. The correlation tool organically and automatically scans through each correlated combo that is provided to you on PrizePicks, Underdog, etc., and shows you the individual plus EV legs and the best overall combination and the most profitable overall slip. And the best part about this correlation tool is it literally just shows you the slip. You literally just have to open up the slip and put it in the PrizePicks, Underdog, and we literally just show you the best, most profitable slip. So let's go ahead and open up the PrizePicks slip. I'm going to walk through why this is so correlated and then compare directly to FanDuel single game parlay odds to show you why this is so profitable. And again, we're looking to organically increase every single leg here through the use of correlation. The next best option here, the next best leg is going to be Josh Allen, as long as I'm not in League of Legends, of course. Josh Allen, over 22.5 pass completions. Let's talk this through. Now, this might not be the highest correlated combo. We're going to go through the rest of the slip here. But if Baker Mayfield is throwing for more passing touchdowns, that means that he's having a good game, which means that he's either 1, going to be playing from behind, or 2, going to be playing in a shootout, right? Which also means that's heavily correlated with Josh Allen over 22.5 pass completions. Because think about it. If Baker Mayfield's passing or if he's playing from behind or in a shootout, that also means that Josh Allen is probably going to be throwing the ball very heavily, right? It's going to be a pass-heavy game script. But let's take it one step further. If this is heavily correlated in a 2-man combo, let's then take 4 other legs here and then organically bring up everybody's percent odds to hit, right? Let's think about this logically. If Baker Mayfield's throwing for a lot of touchdowns, hopefully that's what we're doing here. That's the game script that we're playing to. And then Josh Allen is also throwing over 22.5 pass completions. Who else is going to have good games? Probably his wide receivers, right? Which is why we're going to go down here to Stefon Diggs over 86.5 passing or receiving yards, right? That makes sense because what we're doing here is saying, hey, if Stefon Diggs has a good game, along with Josh Allen, along with Baker Mayfield, all of these are going to organically increase because they positively correlate with one another, right? We're looking for higher than 54.2% per leg. And I'm going to break down the exact math here in a little bit. But then if Stefon Diggs is having a good game with Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield's having a good game, guess who is also going to benefit from this game script? It's going to be Mike Evans, right? Mike Evans happens to be very soft. He has a softer projection here for receiving yards, over 57.5 receiving yards. Now, all of these are heavily correlated together. Obviously, this is pretty straightforward, right? But the tool itself, the whole reason why this presents an edge is because it's finding the softest projections and then heavily correlating them together. I also know on FanDuel single game parlay, which I'll show you here in a second, you cannot put in passing completions with receivers. Like it won't allow you to do it because there's such an edge by doing so. Now let's take this one additional step further and see if we can positively correlate maybe 2 additional players. If the game script is pass heavy, if somebody's playing from behind, guess what's also going to happen in that game? Punting is not going to happen as often. It's not going to occur as often, right? So we're going to be taking the under here on both punters. Punters happen to be a cheat code because they're so heavily correlated with this exact game script, which is exactly what we're going to do here by taking 2 unders on the punters. Sam Martin under punts, and who is that? Camarda? I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I think that's how you pronounce it. Under punts. And as you can see, the payouts did not change. 6 out of 6 is always going to pay 25x. 5 out of 6 is always going to pay 2x, and 4 out of 6 is always going to pay 0.4x. And this equates to 54.22%, as we talked about earlier in the video, which also equates to minus 119 implied odds per leg, which also equates to plus 3,800 parlay odds. Plus 3,800 parlay odds is what we're going to be comparing directly to FanDuel Sportsbook. Let's now take the exact props, put them into a single game parlay, and see what additional edge that we get here by putting this on PrizePicks. So I also want to show you guys, before I move on, to put in all these legs too. Baker Mayfield over 1 passing touchdowns literally cannot be combined with Josh Allen over 22.5 passing completions. It literally says here at the bottom, you can't see because of my big head. Let me move my head real quick. Some of these selections can't be combined into a single parlay because there's such heavy correlation. FanDuel knows that, so they're adjusting the payouts lower to reflect a better payout, essentially. But for this exact combo, you literally cannot pair these two together. So what we're going to do is replace Josh Allen over completions with maybe passing yards. Sure, they're about the same odds. They're actually even worse odds here for the passing completion. So we'll show you the even better payout here by just putting these two together. Luckily, these two can be put together, but they're also very heavily correlated as well. So now let's flip back here and go over the single game parlay odds for, let's say, Stephon Diggs over receiving yards, minus 113 odds on FanDuel. Head back to Mike Evans. He's set to 59.5 on FanDuel, so we're getting that 2-yard discrepancy here on PrizePicks, which is even better. And then we obviously have 2 punters. We can't put 2 punters together just to show you how correlated this is. We're just going to go ahead and throw 2 additional wide receivers because punters are even more, at least their unders are more heavily correlated with passing yards and completions and touchdowns than even receivers themselves. It makes logical sense. So let's go ahead and throw in Gabe Davis and like Chris Godwin yards. And just goes to show you guys, the single game parlay odds on FanDuel right now are set to plus 1742. Comparing that to PrizePicks' single game parlay odds of plus 3,800, and that's factoring in the insurance, right? Because we're getting minus 119 implied odds per leg. When you put those into a 6-leg parlay on a calculator, you're going to get plus 3,800 odds. And I went ahead and I put in 6 legs here with minus 119, minus 118 odds. It's on average about that per leg in a 6-man flex slip. And as you can see here, I'm getting plus almost 3,800 parlay odds. Comparing that directly to the single game parlay odds of plus 1742 on FanDuel. That just goes to show you the edge by simply playing these on fantasy apps compared to actually dynamic, ever-changing sportsbook odds on FanDuel or DraftKings. And they know that this combination is so heavily correlated, which is why they're reducing the payouts. But again, the edge here is that PrizePicks payouts never change. And that's it. That's all you guys need to know. But now let's go ahead and throw in another correlated slip. Let's now focus on Underdog. If you guys haven't signed up for Underdog yet, be sure to use code DGF for 100% matchup to $100. We're going to be playing this exact same strategy. However, the payouts differ on these different fixed payout platforms. The optimal slip type for Underdog is going to be your 5-man non-insured for correlation slips, because again, when we heavily correlate these slips together, the best ROI percentage in terms of like sweeping a slip is always going to be a 5 out of 5 non-man insured, which pays out 20x, which is plus 1,900 odds. Okay, and that's only 5 legs. So overall, it's going to be slightly easier to hit. Let's check this out. Josh Allen over 262.5 passing yards. Gabe Davis over 39.5 receiving yards. And obviously can't put these two together because they're from the same team. But if I put on some more heavily correlated options here, I will be able to from the opposing team. Mayfield over 227.5 passing yards. Chris Godwin over 54. And then last but not least, Mike Evans over rushing plus receiving yards. Oh, and that's the only one available, so that explains that. So when we put these together, again, we're getting this at plus 1,900 odds because we are 20xing our initial payout. So let's then turn around and combine or compare this directly to the odds that we would get on FanDuel. So the only difference here between that 5-leg and this 5-leg is going to be Baker Mayfield. I need to throw in here. And again, just goes to show you guys, we're getting this at plus 1,100 odds, which is freaking insane. Comparing that directly to Underdog, where we're getting plus 1,900. Guys, hopefully you see the edge here. And again, the entire point of this correlation tool is to show you the softest lines. Gabe Davis obviously set to 41.5, so you're getting a 2-yard discrepancy. Chris Godwin set to 54.5, so a 3-yard discrepancy here. And again, this tool is always scanning for the best correlated combos with the softest projections to give you guys the best and most profitable slip. Hopefully this all made sense, guys, and hopefully you did enjoy this content. If you did, please do hit that subscription button, notification bell, and of course, smash that like button for all of our future NFL content. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day, and let's cash.